Hi, I am Paolo and I'm here to show you the main features of ivsEdits. This is the screen that you get when you run the ivsEdits icon. We have the project startup windows that allows us to create a new project, to load an existing one, or to choose between a list of the most recent projects. So let's create a new project. We can choose in the project name. We can assign the new project, the name to the project. So we will call this project tutorial. Now in the project dir, I can set the folder to store this project. So I will set it in the F drive, ivsEdits project. Okay. Then I can set the target device. The target device is the device that ivsEdits will use for the output. The first one is generic render device and will use the internal VGA screen for the preview. The decklink render device will use both the internal screen and an external frame buffer, like any Blackmagic card, like decklink, intensity, multi-bridge, and so on. The third option is VGA render device and allows us to output the ivsEdits preview at full screen on a VGA or HDMI monitor using the computer graphic card. So let's select now generic render device, and the next option is to choose the format of the project. Now I will set HD mode full HD at 50e, but we can change these settings in any time during the project. We cannot change the directory, but we can change both the target device and the target format. We can make this change using the I/O menu and setting, and going to timeline device setting, we can change target device and target format. So this is the ivsEdits guide. So the guide is divided into 4 main windows, and another one that now is hidden, that is the vector scope or waveform. The windows are the view meter, the repository. The repository allows us to collect, create, and arrange our footage to be used on timeline. The preview window allows us to see a preview of what we are creating, and the timeline allows us to arrange the footage based on time. So there is another important area of the software, that is the toolbar, that hosts many of the functions of the software. So let's begin from the repository window, because it allows us to collect and create the footage that we will use on our edit. The repository has a sensible area, that is this one, and not sensible area, that is this one of the tabs. We can create several tabs to arrange our footage. Right-clicking on the sensible area, we can create a new repository, going to repository, new. We can give the name, for example, music, we can create a number of different bins within the repositories. Okay. We can rename the repository with the same menu. Okay, so let's see how does the repository works. So the repository features 7 buttons. The first 3 buttons allows us to collect the footage. While the other ones allows us to create the footage that doesn't exist. So let's begin collecting the footage. We have these 3 buttons for collecting, because the first one allows us to collect the footage that is stored within our project. The second one is a collect button that allows us to collect the footage from a preferred folder, because in the ivsEdits preferences we can assign a path or a folder to browse as predefined. The third one is the recent system folder that allows us to open the folder that we used the last time. So it has a memory of the last used path. The other buttons, the blue record and the red record, allows us to convert files and to capture files. So let's see how to before seeing how to converting file, let's talk about native files and not native files. We call native files the files that we can use on timeline without any limitations, with all the features and no slowdowns. Not native files are files that we cannot use in safe mode on timeline. There are some files that cannot be added to our repository and to our timeline, while there are other files that can be added to the repository and timeline, but they have low performance, and so it is suggested to convert them for the final editing. So let's see something about this. So let's click on the record button. Record is this software that allows us to convert not native files to DPS DVA file. This software allows us to add the files. For example, I'm adding files created with Canon DSLR. These files are supported. You can add these files to the timeline and to the repository, but currently the editing is not so fast, so we suggest to convert them. So clicking on a file, we can select the codec area, the conversion area, and the effects area. In the codec area, we can set the path for the converted file. Please note that that IVS records detects the current project, and by default places the files into the AV folder of the project. We can select the number of the audio files to add to the file. We can add a different time code or an offset. We can set the plain editor, plain and edit wirec feature that allows us to edit the files during the conversion. We can select the resolution of the file and its data rate expressed in megabytes per second, megabits and kilobits. We can choose to create or not the alpha channel, the data rate of the alpha channel. On the conversion area, we see the source. So the software shows us the data collected from the info header of the file. So now for this file we see that it is a full HD at 25 frames per second with square pixel and progressive. In the output we can select a transformation for the file. So selecting auto, it will leave all the option as the input, but we can also define a different interleave, a different algorithm for video conversion, because if we with this software we can convert HD to SD, SD to HD, different aspect ratio. And now and here we can select the interpolation method that we desire. Usually we will use the super sampling that is good for any kind of transformation. If there is no transformation, there is no sense to change this one. The bandwidth limiter allows us to make a blurred or sharpened result. We will turn on this option and we will set to blurred if we need to reduce the bandwidth for high compression purposes, or sharpen if we need to give to a consumer camera a professional look. Another option is the black bezel. This feature allows us to create a black bezel at the edge of the picture to cover defects of the image or anything else. The effect area allows us to add some effects. There are glow and color correction. The color correction allows us to use all the tools that, or almost all the tools that we have also in the post-production part of ivsEdits. So now let's set all on basic. Double-clicking on the I/O area will give us the opportunity to use the trimmer to convert just a range of the clip and not all the clip, because maybe if you have a source file of 1 hour and you need just 10 seconds, you can specify the in and out points and convert just this range. In the trimmer, I can have a visual preview of what will be the effect I'm adding. Now I won't add any effects. When I'm ready, I can go on the conversion. Please take a note, because when you add files to be converted, you will use the predefined options. The predefined options are created with this button. So if you want to create all files at SD resolution, you can set this one to SD. If you want to modify one file, you can double click on it and give different settings to each one. If you make a modify to the predefined, you have to select the clips that are already in the batch list, and assign the predefined to all the selected clips, like this one. So let's start the conversion. My software is in Italian, my IVS record, because it detects that the operating system is in Italian. But if you're using an English operating system, your one will be in English without problems. So let's close IVS record. Let's save our project settings. And let's collect our videos. Let's click on open from current project. This will allows us to see what is an IVS project. Let's go on a higher level. So our project is tutorial. A project is a folder that contains some folders, and a project file that we don't see from the collection. This project is a tool that to assign media and project elements without problems. I mean that the software will load automatically the media into the media folder. All that the software need to create the project is into the database folder. All the temporary files goes into the temp folder. The version will go into the versions, and the waveforms will go into waveforms. If we go within the media folder, we see that creating a project, ivsEdits create an audio folder, an AV folder that will store all AV folder created within ivsEdits, so captured files, or that will store all files in output, while the AVIN folder stores all the file created as input, so captured and converted. The graphic folders will host all the graphics files, for example, still frames and titles. The miscellaneous folder will host all the other files that are not hosted in the other folders. So let's double click on the AVIN and we will find the converted files. We can collect both DPS and DVA files. What is the difference? If you already used Velocity in the past, you know that Velocity created two different files, one for video and one for audio. Uh, the video part is the DPS one, while the audio one is the DVA. The DVA contains not only the audio part but also a link to sync its video. In ivsEdits, we can collect without any difference both the DPS and the DVA file if they are in the same folder. So if, for example, I will add the one for this clip, the DPS file, and for this other one, the DVA DPS for this third one, we will see that in both, in all the ways, there is audio and video sync together. So let's start making or editing. Files can be dragged. Files can be added to the timeline into several ways. The first one is dragging a clip from the repository to the timeline in the desired position. The second option is to use the trimmer. So let's double click on the clip on the repository. In the trimmer, I can specify an input and output point. So if I have a long clip, I can select a range and then drag it to the timeline using this cross. I just drag this cross to the timeline in the desired position, and I will get my clip on timeline. A third way, we will see later the third way to drag the clips automatically. Clips can be dragged in groups. So if I make multiple selections can be made using the control or shift buttons. So if I use the control, I can select one by one, making a group, or using the shift, I can make a range, or using the shift button, I can create a lasso that allows us to select a group of clips. Once they are selected, we can drag them to the timeline, and they will be added according their order in the repository. The timeline is this window that allows us to arrange the clips over the time. If we place the clips one close to the other, we will get just cuts. The cuts can be both on a single track or on different tracks. The tracks have an order that is given by the number. The higher the number, the higher the priority. So if we place this clip over this one, since the V3 is over in number and in priority, when I will play back my timeline, I will see the one that has an higher level. So we see this clip, the clip with the house. The tracks can be sized according our desires. They can be sized. I can assign a size one by one, dragging from the middle of the track label, or all together using the shift button. Or if I want to assign just one kind of clip, if for example I want to reduce the video only tracks and leave the audio ones as they are now, I will press the control button and I will drag to reduce the video ones. There are other shortcuts that are very useful. There are Shift 1, Shift 2, and Shift 3. Shift 1 reduces the audio clips to the minimum so that I can have more space for the video ones, but I can see where are the audio ones. Shift 2 reduces the audio ones, and the Shift 3 resets all the ones to the standard size. So we placed the two clips, one over the other, on V1 and V3 tracks. If we overlay the tracks between V1 and V2, we create a transition because V1 and V2 have the same priority. So if we place the play bar over the transition, we'll see in the middle there is a perfect mix of both the clips because they have the same priority. The duration of transition is given from the duration of the overlay. So the more the clips overlay, the more will be longer and slower the transition. The standard transition is the crossfade, but we can change it at any time, double clicking on it. We have lots of 2D transitions, and the 3D transitions that are GPU accelerated, that are named DV transitions. The clips can be edited on timeline using the trimming tools on the timeline. So I can trim the in point and the out point of a clip, just dragging the left and the right edge of the clip. I can split the clips into two or more parts using the razor tools. We have the standard razor that requires that the clip must be selected. Once the clip is selected, we can select the razor tool both on the toolbar and both using the X shortcut that allows us to scrub the clip and make a physical cut of the clip. Another way of using the razor is using the slice. The slice use the play bar to split the clips. If no clips are selected, when I use the slide function that is recalled by the Shift X shortcut, all clips will be splitted at the the play bar position. But if I select just one clip and I use the Shift X button, I will split just the clip that was selected. Let's delete some of the clips. The standard transition, the standard video transition creates an automatic audio transition to if audio is linked to the clip. The automatic audio transition can be enabled or disabled from the ivsEdits preferences. Other things that we can do on timeline are adding the video effects. Video effects can be added using the right button menu, selecting the video effects and the V shortcut. As you can see, on the right of most commands, there is listed the shortcut to make the same operation very quickly, just clicking, just typing on the keyboard. So, for example, on this clip, we will add a ProCamp, that is one of the tools for the color correction. We will set it to the minimum, i.e. to the chroma to minimum to get the black and white effect. And we will see how effect works. So let's remove the transition to see it better. Let's use this other one. Let's add the video effect again. In the video effects, we have several list of effects. All the basic ones are listed in the filter effects and are the ones that you see now. These other ones are subgroups of the effects, where custom is the effect that you can create, customize, and save for use into other projects or later in the same project. Let's use the ProCamp to see how keyframing works. So let's click on ProCamp and let's set chroma to the minimum. We see that now there is no saturation in the image. But now, if we scrub within the clip, we see that there is no chroma in all the clips. I will press now this button that makes a quick zoom out of the clip to see all the clip duration in the spline editor. It's a fit to screen button. So let's activate the keyframes and let's enable the keyframe auto insert. This feature allows us to auto-create a keyframe when we make a correction to any of the effects. So at the beginning, let's set the chroma to the standard 50. 50 is the standard level of most of the effects. Now, let's go at the middle of the clip and let's move the chroma to 0. In the spline editor, we see that the effect goes down to the middle of the clip and goes up. What does it mean? It means that at the beginning we will have the saturation, and during the time the saturation goes down. Then this movement of the spline tells us that the saturation is going up again. If we go to the end and set the chroma to the max, we will see that uh, we get a very high chroma, since the standard one is 50%. Let's click on apply and exit, and so we will have on timeline our clip with the effects. There are other clip modifications that are not listed in the effects, and they are slow motion, fast motion, strobe, and reverse. So these other features can be accessed using the shortcuts or using the right button. So let's use the right button to see the clip menu to make an adjustment of clip speed. Let's set the speed we desire, and let's click on OK. The clip now has the effect and the slow motion. Once an effect is applied to the clip on timeline shows that there are effects, showing one EFX if there is one effect, two effects if there are two effects. The speed change is listed here, and now we see that speed is set to 50%. The speed change menu, the speed change window, has other features. For example, if I like to set always a different speed, I can set it as default, and I can set the keep duration feature. The keep duration allows me uh, to have the same duration on the clip even using a different speed. For example, if I add a slow motion to the 33% or to a clip, it produces a duration of 3 times against the original duration. So the clip will be longer. If I enable the keep duration, the clip we will have the same duration on timeline, and so if I add another clip here, won't produce a clip overlap. Now let's select just save as default. The bandwidth trim is a function that allows us to remove some flickering on some slow motion, because we have all the slow motions are interpolated, and sometimes interpolation creates some flickering. Adjusting this slider, we can select our desired level of interpolation to remove the flickering. This field is about the frame mode, that can be both fields for an interlaced movie. Field 1 or field 2, if we want to deinterlace the clip before applying the slow motion, or progressive if we want to have a progressive slow motion. Let's click on OK, and let's add another clip. Sorry, I added all the groups. We want to add the slow motion to this clip. If we add the clip speed, the speed 33 is already applied, so I have just to click on OK or to press the enter button to get slow motion done without retyping each time the speed I want to use. The fast motion is made in the same way, clip speed, just adding a speed that is more than 100%. The reverse can be added using the right button or the shortcut. Reverse. Reverse has the play direction has two settings, normal and reverse. Let's click on OK to have the reverse. Now there is no motion evident to see it. Another tool that we have that is similar to clip speed is strobe, that allows us to create the strobo effect. That is very powerful because we use the same interpolation of slow motion to get a wonderful strobe effect without losing too much resolution. These are all the steps of the slow motion that goes from one field to several frames. One field is very light effect that is very nice. Also for the strobe we can program our preferred strobo level, setting the save the default, save as default. The next time that we will add the strobe, we already have our desired settings. All these kind of set by default are used to reduce the editing time, and you know, few seconds saves on thousands of editing in a day means saving hours of work each day. Another basic options of editing is audio editing. We saw that placing a video dissolve, we create an automatic audio fade. But we can create our own fades and level variation using the handles. The handles are these big points that can be used to change the audio level. We can create an handle double clicking on the volume line. We can delete a handle double clicking on it. We can adjust an handle dragging it up or down. We have nice shortcuts to set the audio to 0 or better. The audio levels is expressed in decibels. So we have the zero level at 0 dB, or the no audio at minus 60 or more dBs. So we have the Alt Z and Alt A that allows us to set the most used audio levels. We have other tools to make smart audio editing, we can use the shift button to drag to drag up or down, left and right an audio range, a level range, or we can use the control to select multiple points and make the editing of more points at the same time. Another smart feature is the automatic audio editing. Let's go to collect an audio clip, or we can use the same clips that we are using for video. Let's remove the video part of the clip. We have a macro that allows us to remove the video, to unsync the audio and video and remove the video. That is the F8 button. Now I will undo to show you that we have a similar function for to delete just the audio part of a clip or of a multiple selection. That is F7. So now let's remove the video using the F8 button, and let's make our audio editing. If I place these clips here, but they can be more, also on different tracks. If I select all the audio clips and I press the Ctrl L key, ivsEdits will add the automatic audio fades to all the clips. These fades can be adjusted one by one in the desired way. So if I want to give a different fade, I can select and move the points without any problems. The audio levels can be adjusted using the view meters too. The view meters works also in real time, so we can play back our clips and make our adjustments. The software will store the assignment of each clip. Sorry. So you see that when I change the clips, when the play bar is over, goes over another clip, the view meter change because they save the last setting I made when I was playing back over that clips. Another important things that we have to see about video playback is the buffer. ivsEdits has a buffer feature that allows to go over some hardware limitations. ivsEdits with a modern PC is able to do almost anything in real time, but all the PC or very complicated effects may require more power than the power of our PC. For this reason, ivsEdits reads the video before the play bar with a margin of some seconds. It is, but you can adjust it by preferences. This pre-read is showed by this bar. If I press the space bar to play back, I see that the bar goes to green. When the bar is full green, it means that our buffer is full, and the software has some seconds of reserve before losing frames. Losing frame result in a jerky playback. So let's see how does this buffer work. Now we have no effects if or only low power effects. Let's add some other effects. For example, on this clip, we will add the old movie that is probably now the most complicated effects, because adds grain, scratches, and other stuff. Let's add the ProCamp to remove the color. Let's add the brighten and contrast to add other different features to the video. Let's create an logarithmic curve to the exposure. So I'm compressing the blacks and whites, and let's click on apply exit, and let's see what happens on the buffer. The buffer, this is a not very powerful PC. The buffer doesn't grows up. This means that I'm losing frames. I can have a proof of this loss of frames using this button. This button opens the message log. In the message log there are all the things that the software makes. There are things that goes okay, timeline, pace, store, play. So it records all the things that we do on our timeline, and it records loss of frames too. So I'm sure that I'm losing frames. If I remove one of the effects, I will remove all the movie, and I will play back again. We'll see that the buffer raise up, so it means that my computer is able to make this effect. Let's add a transition. Let's copy and paste the same effects of this clip to this other one. The clips, the effects can be copied and pasted using the Shift-C, Shift-V buttons. And let's play again. We see that the green bar grows up very fast. It means that we can add other effects or video layers to my project. So let's take another clip. Let's add a perspective effects. We can use one of the predefined options. We can create also a keyframe for moving this picture from the left to the right, using the position. Okay. On this PC that I'm using for the tutorial, we don't have any GPUs to accelerate the process. It is an old good system for demos. So let's play our timeline again, and we see that the buffer is full green, but at time it was going down. It meant that the hardware wasn't able to play back 3 video levels with the effects. This can be due to the hard drive that is too slow to handle too many layers, or to the CPU power. Now we can see another thing. We are editing an HD project. Let's say if we don't need an online preview, we can enable the proxy mode. The proxy mode uses the same HD files, but the effects are applied on a reduced resolution. For this reason, slow computers like this one can take benefits for the editing process. So let's go on the I/O menu, timeline device settings. Between the target formats, I can choose the proxy ones. I'm choosing the Full HD 50 that suits my needs, and I click on apply. Now I see the preview little blurred, but let's see if there are difference on the buffer. Before we weren't able to play back this combination of clips and effects, and now we pass it without problems. Let's add another effect to this clip, the auto fade. Let's click on fade in and out. The software adds automatically the transparency effect with some keyframes to make the effects, but we can adjust them in the way we want. Let's click on apply. We can take another clip, copy and paste our effects, and see if we are able to make 4 video levels in real time. As you can see, the buffer didn't go down, so it means that we can add other effects. So let's take another clip. Let's remove the audio. We don't need the audio, so we can remove it. Shift V to paste the effect. We can adjust the effect applied. So I can disable for a while the fade in, fade out to see what is the effect that I'm going to do. As you can see now, the spline shows me an horizontal line. That means that means no keyframes. But if I click on the X field, I see that there is some movement. So if I click on Y, I will see the spline of the Y. If I click on Z, I will see the spline of Z. If I click on sides, I will be the spline of sides. Let's go on the X and make a different motion. So let's place the clip here. And to the end, we'll go just down, apply. I forgot to enable again the fade in, fade out. Let's click on apply, exit. And so on. Let's move the first clip up. Fade in, fade out, disable, peep effects. I will go on the first keyframe. Okay. Let's place this here. And may go to the end and place this one here. We can add other effects, so I'm adding a white border of some pixels. Okay. Let's move up the border and crop. Okay, let's play. I forget again to enable the video layer, but okay. Let's enable again the fade in, fade out. We can apply other effects since we don't have any buffer problems in the proxy mode. I can add other effects too. For example, I can add the page turn with some progression next to the end. Okay, cancel. Another thing that I forgot to show before is this field. In the track labels, we have a number. This number represents the time code of the frame that goes under the playback bar. So each clip, if we place several clips one over the other, we will see the time code of each frame of these clips. This is very useful during the editing. Now let's remove these clips from the timeline. Let's use the lasso to make the multiple selection. If we press the Ctrl A, we select all the clips, so we can remove them all together. For editing, I can use a useful feature. There is the markers. So let's collect an audio clip.